Hello. Hello from Oklahoma. Um, so I just wanted to go live. I don't even know how, guys. I don't even know how I'm on the internet. My phone and laptop are connected to my old internet before I left the house and before we moved from our one house in Bakersfield to the other house, Bakersfield, and but here I am, live and in color, uh, broadcasting to you guys today. I can't fathom it because I'm at my daughter's place and they tell me that they're not hooked up to that internet service anymore. And so anyway, I'm not going to complain. We're live, we're Wi-Fi, internet's working, and here we go to discuss all things Hawkeye. Um, First thing I want to get to, want to talk about the progress, a little update that I read on the internet about Ava Jones, the Iowa women's basketball recruit for next year. You guys know by now, that she and her family were hit as they walked on the sidewalk in, I think it was Nashville for when they were in town for a basketball tournament, or maybe it was Louisville. I can't remember which one, guys. They were in one of those towns for a tournament. Um, so her brother posted a video. She is awake. Uh, Her brother posted a video of her doing therapy. Not up close, but she was. They had a little ball in her hands, and she was shooting it up like she was shooting a basketball. I do know that from previous updates, she has a broken back. But she and her mom have both been moved out of intensive care. They are now going to a rehab center, which they're going to room together. Um, so I guess I'm going to guess that they've got a long road to haul here on getting rehab and getting things back to normal for their life. And of course, things will never be normal for their life again ever. However, and I don't know. They have not said anything on the prognosis of whether Ava would be able to play basketball ever again or not. I do not know that at this time. I'm hope she is able to get back to doing that because I think basketball would be her one escape from all this misery, the tragedy, and the fact that she lost her dad in this tragic accident. And I'm sure that that would be a great escape for her. If she's not able to, I just wish for the best for her and her mother to get better, to get better and lead some kind of a normal life. But I'm hope that they are able to get back to doing what she loves the best, and that's basketball. Okay, so we got that part out of the way. We talk the NIL part. There's two separate NILs out there, guys. There's the Iowa City NIL group, which for I think for $199, you guys can join. We can join, and I believe they've got over 1,200, 1,300 members right now. That have actually donated $199, and you can buy as many shares as you want. You can buy, two, three, four shares. So um, that's just going to benefit the football program. The other one that just started up this week was I believe it's the Iowa Swarm NIL, which will benefit both football and basketball, both men and women's. And that's charity based, performance based, I believe. And they've also got a group set aside to help anybody who wants to get some outside advertisement. Like for instance, Caitlin Clark has that Hy-Vee deal. If somebody else wants a Hy-Vee deal, somebody will help them, negotiate with Hy-Vee and get them into a Hy-Vee deal, or if somebody wants to do a Domino's pizza deal or something like that. Um, so that one has many layers to it, has 3 or 4 layers to it. There is a layer where everybody's going to get the same amount of money. Um, you know, Including the last player on the bench for women's basketball versus the top player on Iowa's football team, all going to get the same amount of money. That's one of the layers. Another layer is charity based. These guys are going to get out there and do some charity work and earn some money that way. For example, they said an example of this is um, I forget how many years Dolphins been on the air, but they're going to do an anniversary special with Gary Dolphin, where they're going to have a big affair and you donate money to get so many tables or plates um, to go to that meal and go to that thing, and they'll earn money that way. So they're going to earn. They got some ways to earn some money to keep that going. The question is, can either one of these NIL deals, can the fans continue to produce money season after season to keep that thing going and keep it running? Well, the same boosters donate year in and year out to keep it a viable thing. We don't know. This is too early. We don't know what's going to happen in the long run. The thing that concerns me most is wrestling got left out. I realize I don't know if wrestling's got something else going on their own. Kind of like the football team has the Iowa City NIL program. That's just strictly for football. Does wrestling have one too? But these guys are like the same donors. I mean, yes, there are going to be some donors who only contribute for wrestling versus other sports, but there aren't going to be that many. And so, you're asking the same people to donate, and I honestly feel like the Hawkeye Swarm one did the wrestling team just an injustice by not including them. I'll be anxious to hear what Tom Brands thinks. I'll be anxious to see if anybody's going to come forward in the future to help the wrestlers out. I mean, because a lot of these wrestlers don't get full scholarships, from what I'm told. A lot of them are partial scholarships because the wrestling teams are only allowed so many scholarships, and so in order to get the number of recruits they need, they have to take those number of scholarships and divide them up. At least that's the way it used to be. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me on that one, and just drop a note in the comments um, to do that. Okay, so that is my thoughts there. Okay, yeah, I just don't know if we're gonna find out. I don't know what the Iowa donors situation is like. I mean, I could help donate $199 one season, but could I do it every season? I don't know. The further I get in retirement and the more retirement money I use up, um, I question whether or not I could sustain that. Given every year. Okay, I want to go over some of the other stuff I wanted to talk about. And okay, you guys know that um, the season tickets sold 5,000 more tickets last year. I mean, than last year. I mean, there must be a lot of buzz and a lot of hype going on for this football season because Wisconsin, Michigan, University of Nevada, and Iowa State games all sold out, all of them. Nebraska and Northwestern are very, very close to selling out. They're under 1,000 each, so I don't know. Do you consider that a sellout? And so both those games are almost sold out. I mean, Northwestern's almost sold out. I didn't catch Nebraska. I'm looking it up right now. Well, they say 2,500 for the Nebraska game. I'm not sure. As much as Iowa fans love to beat Nebraska, and we got that 7-game winning streak against Nebraska going, why that one hasn't sold out yet either. And also, the opening game only has 3,000 tickets left. Against South Dakota State University, guys, I wouldn't overlook that game. I know that people are probably that's probably going to be the slowest selling game because they are what used to be called a Division Two. They're in UNI's conference, but I believe they're preseason ranked number 2 behind North Dakota State. Or if they're not, they're really high. I'd have to get out. I don't have one of my preseason magazines with me, but they are very, very considered very high. This team, if I was not careful, and Petrus has a game like he had against Kentucky, like he throws numerous interceptions. That game could come up and bite Iowa in the butt. You know that team is a very good team. Just because they're Division II doesn't automatically give Iowa the win. That doesn't mean they're going to automatically walk in there and win. I believe depth wise, talent wise, Iowa is the better team, and they should win that game. Will they win it easily? No. And here's why: Kirk Ferentz teams seem to, at least the offensive part of them, seems to play to the level of the competition that they're playing. So if they're playing, um, well, last year's Michigan's game went against the rule, but for basically for two full quarters and half of a third quarter, Iowa played toe to toe with Michigan. Then the game got out of hand, just plain got out of hand. Um, but also other examples are when Iowa plays. Like last year, Northwestern wasn't a very good team, guys, but we didn't blow them out. We played at their level the entire game. Um, and so Iowa seems to get up for the teams that they need to get up for and play to that level, to the high level that they need to, which is why Iowa teams very rarely get blown out against very good teams. Case in point is yes, we beat Penn State the last 2 years, but previously, we lost, I think, 4, 5, 6 games in a row to Penn State. All of them close except for one. All of them. You know, Same with Wisconsin. Most of the Wisconsin losses were very close games. Just case in point that Iowa plays to that level. Um, but they also play down when they should be playing down to a team. So what I'm trying to say is talent wise, on paper, this shouldn't even be a contest, Iowa versus South Dakota State. But it will be because that's the way Kirk Ferentz teams play. The only way this game gets out of hand is if special teams and defense step up and score. You'll notice that in most of the blowout wins that Iowa has, which aren't very many, guys, aren't very many. Special teams have scored, or have set the offense up in almost perfect field position, to where they almost cannot not score. Um, or the defense has got a pick six, or they too get a timely interception or timely fumble recovery, and they also set the team up in a position where they almost surely can't blow scoring the scoring opportunity. So look back on that and see if I'm not right that blowout wins were a result of the special teams and defense either scoring or setting up the offense in perfect scoring position. Um, and so, but I think it's exciting, despite the fact that a lot of fans think Peters can't carry this team this year. A lot of fans are believing in this team. They're believing. There's some excitement. They're buying tickets. I don't know how many games were sold out last year, but I don't believe they had as many as 4. And it looks like the entire season is going to be a sellout, guys. Which I don't remember the last time Iowa sold out every stinking single game in a season for football. So that's going to be exciting. The other exciting news with the football is the media days are coming up Tuesday for Iowa. Let's see if I can go off the top of my head. Not Riley Moss. I would have thought he would have been there. Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell, and Kayvon Merriweather are all going to the media days with Kirk Ferentz. I'm looking forward to that. You can catch that live on Big Ten Network. I believe Kirk Ferentz is on at 11:45 Central Standard Time on the Big Ten Network. His live interview, and then of course the players will be off to the side after that. doing interviews, and I believe Kirk will be doing side interviews as well, um, too. So some of those can be caught on YouTube later, or you can pick your favorite Iowa beat writer. Like if it's Chad Lysico or Pat Hardy or somebody, because they will also be writing stories probably all week based on what they find out on Tuesday from these players. I'm kind of excited for the players who they picked. I mean, usually you would expect Petrus to be picked, but he's not even guaranteed his starting spot. Although I think most people believe he will be our starter this year. Um, so that's exciting part with the media. Along with that, the media was, or maybe it was the coaches, were asked to pick the complete East Side Division and the West Side Division winners. Wisconsin ran away with it for the West. Surprise, surprise, surprise. But in all honesty, since the division became the West Division with Wisconsin in it, they've won all but four West Division titles, and two went to Northwestern and two went to Iowa. Wisconsin got the rest of those. And so that's kind of sad that one team, but like Ohio State, they pretty much dominated the East, and so they are picking Ohio State over Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game this year. So that's neither here nor there, because that's probably what everybody picks every year. Ohio State's the East darling, Wisconsin's the West darling. And it's true. Usually, Wisconsin's pretty solid. That the West title usually goes through Wisconsin, and um, in order for Iowa to even have a shot at the West, they're going to have to upset, a couple of teams. Number one, they got to beat Wisconsin. Number two, they're going to have to beat Michigan or Ohio State. I don't think they can afford to lose to both of them. And just because of how powerful Ohio State's going to look this year, I got to believe that Michigan, we're going to have to pick off Michigan at home, because I don't honestly believe Iowa can beat Ohio State this year. But we'll find out. We'll find out. That's why they play them. In 2017, we didn't think we could beat them either, but Iowa did. Iowa did. I didn't even want to watch that game. I went to a movies with my grandchildren because I thought I'm going to tape it. That we're not even going to be in that game, and I don't want to be upset and ruin my Saturday by watching Iowa get thumped, and then to come out and find out at halftime we were in that game, and then get excited as the game went on further and further, and Iowa kept outscoring Ohio State. That was very exciting because you'll see very very few Ohio State Iowa games where Iowa came out the winner in the game. And so I mean, can it happen? Yes, it can. Do I think it will happen this year? No. Honestly, as a Hawkeye fan, I'm just going to have to be realistic and think Ohio State's that much further ahead of us than we are. Um, but Michigan is run by Jim Harbaugh. I believe it last year was an anomaly for them. They've got some people returning, but they also got some people not returning. And I think this Michigan team is not as good as they were last year. But if they continue to go back to like Iowa is, become a run oriented team. I mean, that's kind of different that Michigan kind of went to a run oriented scheme last year, and it worked. It worked very well for them. And so, based on I believe as long as our quarterback doesn't throw away the ball or anything, and we don't give up the ball on fumbles and stuff, I believe we can beat Michigan. And so I believe that's where we're going to get it this year. And so, but this is not where our prediction show. I will be doing that with some special guests, um, Jack's Hawkeye Florida, or Jack's Florida Hawkeye, uh, and Jason Hackwell later. Possibly Terry Christensen if we can get it to work into her busy schedule. We're probably gonna do a prediction show before the season starts, and we'll talk about the season and what we think is going to go on. But we will be doing pre games like on Friday and post games like on Monday. Um, so be aware of that. Excuse me. I got a few moments here. Okay, so Um, so yeah. Through all that, you guys want to know where Iowa was picked? Iowa was picked second. What with Minnesota right behind them and Nebraska or Purdue. I can't remember. I think it was Iowa, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota. Then I think it was either Purdue or Nebraska, and then the other one was either Purdue or Nebraska. Those are considered the top 4 or 5 teams in the West this year. Many people think that this is going to be the year that Wisconsin gets over the hump. That they feel like going into the Iowa game, they could easily be a 7-win team, but they do have a stretch that I think they're going to start out hot, guys. And if they can keep that momentum, I think early in the season, I think they got a clear path to 6 wins. Uh, Nebraska does. But the last 4 games are going to be tough. And so it depends on what Nebraska does with the middle 2 games. I mean, games 7, 8, 7 through 12. Whether or not they get to 7 wins or not, or 8. But many Nebraska fans are predicting 7 wins going into the Iowa game. And so that's what they're looking at. So honestly, I probably would have Nebraska at 6 or 7 wins going into that game as well. So yeah, so many people are thinking Nebraska's coming back this year. That this is finally the year that they finally get over the hump, and they need to, because if they don't, Scott Frost is out of a job, and if they don't come out of the gate and win, 5 or 6 of those first 6 or 7 games, he might be fired. Scott Frost might get fired then, because they probably have one of the easiest schedules in the first part of the season. The only game that I would think that they won't be favored in is the Oklahoma game. I think they'll be favored in every other game for the first 7 games of the season. Um, so that's my opinion there. But anyway, yeah, as like usual, Iowa is getting some respect, but not the respect that you guys think they should, that we all think they should. Because wouldn't it be nice to just say, hey, we're actually picked to win the West, instead of like, oh, Iowa's pennies second or third, but they got enough talent, and if they can win this game or win that game, they could win the West. Last year people think Iowa backed their way into the West title. Um, kind of not. I mean, they needed help to win the West title after they lost to Wisconsin and Purdue. They needed help to win the title, and they got the help they needed. So that happens, guys. It happens. All right. Um, oh yeah, well, it's time to do some other things here. I wanted to get here. Let me get this. Oh yeah, did you guys going back to a little bit of basketball? I think I'm a little bit done with the football right now. But going back to the men's basketball and the excitement of Keegan Murray becoming the MVP of the NBA Summer League, and just tearing it up at 23 points a game, and I believe 6 or 7 rebounds a game. Great. He did it against rookies and other people. I'm excited to see what he can do against the actual veterans of the league, the superstars of the league. How he does. It'll be exciting to watch the Kings play this year, and hopefully Keegan does very well for them, and I hopefully he earns himself a starting role. If not a starting role, consistent 6 or 7th man off the bench consistently. And I also hopefully by that same note, I hope Luca Garza finds a home where he can play a lot. I think he's with Portland for the summer, but it doesn't mean he'll stick with Portland when the NBA season gets started. And Luca works hard. Luca deserves the shot, and I know, and Luca may be that type that's going to find spot duty between NBA and the Gatorade League. For a while, but have a long career. Kind of, I believe Iowa had a player named Ryan Bowen that had a long, lengthy career in the NBA. But he wasn't like an everyday player, everyday starter, or something like that. And that may be where Garza comes down. But one of the things that I wanted to go over is Fran Fran McCaffrey coming out and saying that Keegan did get a guaranteed second round draft pick. He was guaranteed a second round pick with a two-way, which means he would bounce back and forth between the big league, the NBA, and the Gatorade League. Um, he would bounce back and forth, much like Garza did this year. I don't know about what if Wieskamp did or not. You know, it's kind of like weird because we saw a lot of Garza this year, but not a lot was said about what Wieskamp and what happened with him and or Tyler Cook this year. Um, but I think it says a lot about the character of um of Chris Murray when you think about that because he had a chance. He was told he was guaranteed a second round with a two-way. Do you know how many guys would have jumped at that and done that, thinking, I can get in there and I'll prove myself during the season and I can beat that two-way and get a one-way ticket to the NBA. Um, he wanted to come back. He wanted to come back and just basically fill the shoes of his brother. He wanted to have that role. Taking over the role that his brother had. Even though they're going to be different players, they're going to be having a little bit different styles, guys. But he wants to be that guy. He wants to be the guy that Iowa goes to when they need a bucket. He wants to be that guy. And so, and I think he wants to play himself into a first round. I believe either way, since, this is going to be Chris's last year at Iowa, no matter what happens, guys, no matter what happens. I believe this will be his last year because if he was guaranteed a second round last year, he'll get the second round this year for sure. Okay. So that's the thing. But here's a couple of updates on the basketball players as it's going. Chad Lysico saw the practice and says Desante Bowen looks the part to him. He's smooth with the ball, needs to physically mature for the Big Ten, but he'll be Iowa starting point guard at some point, in his opinion. Um, maybe, guys. Josh Dix does not plan on redshirting. He'll be a full goal date is September 1st, which means he can get out and take physical contact on September 1st. But until September 1st, he'll be just on the sidelines doing his own thing, shooting the ball. But yeah, he doesn't want a redshirt. They said Josh Ungundale. Okay, I'll get it, guys. Was on a bike during practice. I'm guessing he's trying to work off some more weight. He didn't actually go out there and practice with the team during the practice time that Chad saw. Rabacha wasn't there. Rabacha, I don't know where he was at, guys. Why he wasn't there? Is he injured? Did he have summer class that interfered with schedule? We don't know. Mohove is buffed up a little bit. Mulvey, I can't even say his last name right, guys. I'm so sorry. I got to get these names figured out. But it says he got chewed out a few times during practice, so it seems like there's some questions because he's probably the only guy playing five during practice. Unless Chris swung in there a few times. So Chad feels there's still some questions about the five going on, and I don't, considering who we have right now, I would say that's a good bet. He said Chris Murray has actually bulked up and looks pretty good. So we're excited about him. Said Patrick McCaffrey, PMAC as we all know him, was on fire from the corner threes during the practice portion that they saw, and so that's actually very, very nice. That I mean he's getting that all down there. So yeah, I'm trying to go through some of this stuff here real quick. I'm getting close to the end. My about used my 30 minutes up, and so um, you know, I know that the basketball non-conference schedule has been posted. I tried to post a little bonus thing that Chad Lysico wrote about his take on all um, the non-conference games, which is a very, very nice article, but it wouldn't post because it's a private it's a private extra bonus thing that you have to pay so much a month to be a member of his chat group, and you get exclusive content and other things too. You get extra podcasts throughout the year that you the regular viewers don't get, the regular fans. Um, okay, so I'm just gonna check this real quick and see what we got here, and try to move on a little bit. Okay. So, oh yeah, we talked about that. Iowa wrestling women's. They hired a new women's coach, assistant coach. Uh, hang on. Let me go through this real quick. Okay, there was a incoming University of Iowa wrestler Sterling Diaz won a national title at the National Freestyle Championships this past week and at the Fargo Dome. So that's really great. Um, so go back to that. Okay. Alrighty. So Iowa had a total of 4 incoming wrestlers earn All-American status honors at this wrestling tournament. That's this junior. Um, Aiden Riggins and Bradley Hill won national titles at the junior national freestyles. So I guess that would be 3. 3 of them won it. All right. Um, okay. Iowa's 9 wrestlers in attendance at this junior tournament posted a 44-13 record during the tournament. Um, uh, guy by the name of Joel Raga finished 4th at 145, going 9-2 in the tournament, and so it's pretty good. Kobe Franklin at 220 pounds finished 2nd. So all in all, Iowa did very, very well in the tournament, that wrestling tournament. So I think the Iowa wrestling team's future is pretty good. Uh, okay. Um, well, there's not. Where's that art? I don't see the article on the women's wrestling coach because I really wanted to give a little love there. Um, but she's an Olympic gold medalist. Don't have her name. I wish it was right here. Uh, but it's not. I thought it would be right there. So wait a minute. Let me try this. Let me try another way to get to it. Okay, sports, women's, women's wrestling. Oops. Okay. Oh, okay. I want to clarify something here. Um, the last 4 people that I talked about that got All American status for Iowa was were men's wrestlers. Um, Diaz was actually a women's wrestler. It looks like. Okay, the person joining the Iowa's women's wrestling staff is Verbeek. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about her. Verbeek goes by Tanya Verbeek. She's going to be a wrestling assistant coach. She's from Canada. It looks like she's an Olympic gold medalist. So, yeah. it looks like Iowa's got another great women's team. They got quite the team going right now. I don't know. I don't think they start wrestling this year, but the following year. So that's something to keep an eye out for, guys. Is that? But we'll talk more wrestling as we get closer to the season. Um, right now, football is the big thing. We got a lot of football news coming up. Like we said, we got media day starting Tuesday. Iowa's day is going to be Tuesday. Kirk Ferentz will be live on BTN from 11:45 to noon, I believe. You can double check that. Also, I believe camp opens up next week too, late in the week or early part of the following week. So be keep an eye on that. Going to be exciting. Kids Day will come up. I think like August 13th or somewhere in there. So keep an eye out for that. And guys, football season is right around the corner. One thing I always say about football season being around the corner, it means summer is over. You know, and I love summer. I love being outdoors. I love being in the pool. I love doing the walks and everything else and stuff. And this year I got my own personal pool with the new house that we bought and we've been using it quite a bit. But right now, while I've been in Oklahoma, we've been having up to 110-degree temperatures every day since I've been here for a full week now. And I'll be here until Wednesday this next week. And the temperatures have been well over 100. So, but my daughter lives in an apartment complex, so we've been having to share the pool with other people. And I got to tell you guys, that's not fun. Pool's already been closed twice in the week I've been here, the first week I've been here, because they've had to empty it out and refill it because people are not paying attention to what their kids are doing in the pool. Please teach your kids, especially in a public swimming pool. Teach your kids to get out of the pool to do their thing. Don't do it in the pool because it hurts the people who want to swim and who follow the rules, because when a public pool has to be completely drained and cleaned and disinfected and refilled, you know, kids and plus adults like myself who like to swim missed the opportunity. I know that one of the days it was closed, I took my grandchildren. We went to the aquatic center here in their hometown in this town. Very nice aquatic center, very very crowded. But we had a good time, and the kids had a good time on the water slides and stuff like that. So I know they enjoyed it. So, but yeah, I will be here till Wednesday, and so I will probably do another broadcast. Well, it'll either have to be Tuesday or it'll have to wait till Wednesday night. I will be home as long as there's no delays or cancellations in flight plans. I will be back in California by 11:30 a.m. Wednesday. Uh, so depending on how much news I can get out of this media days on Tuesday. I'll probably in Tuesday evening go live again, or I'll wait till Wednesday night when I get home. But then again, don't count on that because I haven't seen my wife for 2 weeks. So it may be Friday when I finally get back on here again next week. So um, my wife tells me that she's been going for 8 p.m. swims right when it's getting dark um, in our pool. So I can't wait to join her there. And so it's going to be fun to get back home. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. And guys, have a wonderful weekend. And do your thing. Enjoy what's left of the summer, guys. We got over a month left of the summer. Then school starts. Friday night lights start with the Iowa high schools or wherever you live. California schools, Texas schools, high schools getting in full swing in football right now. Right here, where I'm broadcasting from, Mustang, California. I'm not California, but Oklahoma. Which is a suburb of Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is only about a 10-minute drive from here. Um, so I've noticed that they're working out. I don't know if they're doing 2 days or 3 days or what they're doing, um, we live close enough that every time I drive by the high school football field, there's the football teams are practicing right now. The cheerleading squads, which my granddaughter's a member of, is practicing right now, getting ready for this season. So football's around the corner, and school starts for some people in a few weeks. Others, some of you still got a month to go before you get to go back to school. So I'm out for now, and I will see you next time I'm on here. Okay, you guys take care.